Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 39 of Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. My name is Bill Pivets. Before we get started, if you want, follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Rate and review this podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Podomatic, Stitcher, wherever you guys get your podcasts as well. So this week was a very eventful week leading up to NXT TakeOver London. We had a lot of stories starting to build, a lot of continuations as well. We first got a recap of the main event last week and the post-match attack. We also got hype of the Vaudevillains defending their NXT Tag Team Championship against Dash and Dawson. First match on the card was the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger against Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin entered the ring. Before the match got started, though, Apollo Crews ran down and attacked Corbin, threw him on the outside, threw him into the post, threw him back in the ring, took him down with a spear. Baron Corbin was able to escape and run away, but that match never got started. So, it obviously makes sense that we had a follow-up to Baron Corbin's interference last week with Apollo Crews costing him the NXT title, at least a shot at it, because who knows if he would have won. There was really nothing that upset me about this. I mean, I'm not dying to see Ty Dillinger and Baron Corbin fight, so I'm okay that they used him as a gateway as they got ready for this angle. And it just makes sense. Like I said, I saw this coming last week, obviously with Baron Corbin costing Apollo Crews the title. Apollo Crews had great intensity during this. He cut a promo later in the night. So I'm just excited to see Apollo Crews. I mean, Baron Corbin's been improving the last couple weeks, last couple months at least. So there's definitely an intrigue in these two going at it because Baron Corbin obviously is a ground and pound, little rougher style Apollo Crews can do that, but he's more aerial, more dynamic in the ring. So these two styles clashing can make for a good match for NXT TakeOver. We also got hype that Samoa Joe will explain why he did what he did. Second match, I guess the first official match, would be Bayley and the Hype Bros against Alexa Bliss, Blake, and Murphy. I don't think they advertised this match last week of taking place tonight, so I was surprised that they would use this. But seeing where they went after the match, it made sense. I want to be interested in the match. I just don't care about either tag team right now. Hype Bros are nothing. Blake and Murphy aren't much. They don't have much of a personality. It's more Alexa Bliss leading them and these two tagging along for the ride. So Murphy and Ryder started. Murphy really wanted nothing to do with Ryder and tagged Alexa, which forced Bayley to come in. Bayley had the upper hand for a little bit, but Alexa tagged in Blake, and that led to a commercial. Mojo and Ryder were working over Blake. The heels then had their turn on offense working over Ryder. Mojo got the hot tag and had Murphy pinned, but Bliss broke it up. Bayley took out Bliss. Alexa walked away with the NXT Women's Championship. Bayley wanted to go after her, but the referee stopped her. She then hit Murphy with the belly to Bayley suplex, running after Bliss after that. This allowed Mojo and Ryder to hit their Spinebuster Rough Rider combination finisher to get the win. So like I said, there's really nothing about these two teams. This was more about Alexa Bliss and Bayley more than anything else. So the in-ring action wasn't much. It was just more story building. Alexa Bliss taking what she deserves and running off with the title. I mean, the crowd actually was behind the Hype Bros. I don't know why they haven't been on NXT for a few weeks, but I guess they're a fan of Zack Ryder more than anything. After that, the Ascension actually just came up from underneath the camera out of nowhere and cut an AD Styles promo, accepting the challenge of Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. Nia Jax was shown in the hallway walking down, and she bumped into Ava Marie. The two started talking. Ava noticed the camera and pulled her behind a closed door, and they continued to talk a little more. Not sure where that's leading to. I hope it's not a team. I hope it's not an alliance between the two, because that's the last thing Nia Jax needs right now is teaming up with Ava Marie. Mystery interviewer approached Apollo Crews, like I mentioned before. He said that tonight was just a glimpse of what he's going to do to Baron Corbin. Third match was Deanna versus Nia Jax. So it's another person from New Jersey. So I'm proud that my home state's representing on NXT the last couple weeks. Nia Jax caught Deanna with a huge Samoan drop off the rope. She toyed with her a bit, landing a couple corner splashes. She then slammed her down and won with her leg drop. Yeah, there's really nothing more there. Just a typical squash match, putting over the next, I guess, heel. They really haven't shown Nia Jax swaying to either side. I guess heel with Ava Marie, but I mean, her music doesn't seem it. The crowd's behind her, so there's really... And she hasn't cut a promo yet since she debuted, so I'm not sure which way they're going with Nia Jax just yet. They then announced that Carmella will be facing Nia Jax next week, so I have no idea what Carmella did to piss whoever's in charge off, but it should be an interesting match to say the least. We then got a cut to the backstage area. Bayley was running around looking for Alexa. She found her posing with the NXT Championship. Alexa ran off. Bayley picked up her title, and then when she turned around, she was in front of Nia Jax. Bliss attacked her from behind and then walked away. Nia Jax picked up the NXT Women's Championship, stared at it for a little bit, and dropped it back to Bayley. So look at that. You have Alexa Bliss and Bayley currently feuding over the Women's Championship. You have a challenger in the waiting in Nia Jax, who obviously knows her intentions that she wants the NXT champion or Women's Championship. And plus, you also have a second feud between Emma and Asuka going on. So that's how you do a women's revolution, not the stuff that they're doing on Raw and SmackDown. This is how you do it. You have multiple women's feuds that the fans actually give a damn about because they love Bayley and they want to see her give Alexa Bliss what she deserves, and Asuka is just taking the NXT world by storm, and because of what Dana and Emma did to her on her debut, that they're looking for Emma to get her revenge as well. And that's the simple storytelling that they need on WWE. They don't need the 3-person teams that they have on Raw and SmackDown. Granted, they broke one of them up, but still, you don't need Team Bad. I guess Team Bella's with Alicia Fox just hanging around for whatever reason. They just need their own personality. They need to separate from this team thing because that's not how they were in NXT. And I get you want to get them all screen time and everything like that, but they're not going to get over that way. I mean, when's the last time Becky Lynch won a match on Raw? Not that I can remember. She hasn't won any. Her and Sasha Banks are facing on main event either tonight or next week. So they're just wasting these women when they definitely deserve better. Fourth and final match of the night was the Vaudevillains defending their championship against Dash and Dawson. They had the same in-ring introduction that Balor and Cruz had last week with the spotlight on them and the in-ring introductions, which was nice. The other thing that I noticed is that the announce team was actually referencing what happened on the house shows a couple weeks ago when Dash and Dawson defeated the Vaudevillains in the Dusty Classic tournament. You never see anything like that on Raw and SmackDown either. Whether the match was on TV or not, it actually proves that matches mean something because Dash and Dawson defeated the NXT Tag Team Champions. We didn't see it on the network. It's something that they went out of their way to show that happened. It's not like WWE brushes all their live events and stuff under the rug. This actually means something. It led to the push that Dash and Dawson received, and it led to this title match because they earned it. They defeated the champions before. They've been on a winning streak on NXT. So it definitely proves that NXT is a more of a brand as far as, revolutionizing what they're doing as far as storytelling, going above and beyond, talking about what's happening on the house shows and live events. So it proves, like I said, that NXT is doing things with Triple H in charge much better than what they're doing on Raw and SmackDown. Dawson and Aiden English started the match off. Dawson was working over the knee a little bit. Dash got involved, distracting Aiden for a little bit, and Dawson took Aiden down with a chop block as they went to the first commercial break. Back from that, the challengers were focusing on the knee and the left leg of Aiden English, similar to what they did to Colin Cassidy. Corey Graves made a reference that Dash and Dawson remind him of the Brainbusters of Arn and Ole Anderson. I definitely could get an Arn Anderson vibe from Scott Dawson. Not sure about Dash Wilder. He definitely has that more mechanical aura about him as far as just beating his opponent to a pulp and just targeting a limb and going after it whatever chance he gets. And that's something I really like about Dash Wilder. Scott Dawson, I really don't know much about him. He's just another person that, he's not getting a lot of promo time. There's really nothing that stands out that I see from him. English was able to get some separation, and he finally tagged in Simon Gotch. They did go for the Whirly Dervish, but Dawson took English down again with a chop block. Wilder threw Gotch into the steel steps. The heels went in the ring and then did the same tag team maneuver they did to Colin Cassidy with like the side figure 4 leg lock and then jumping off the top ropes. Dawson then locked in a modified figure 4 on Aiden English to win the tag team championship. So we got new tag team champions in Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. I like it a lot. Like I said, the push that Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder received over the last month or so just proves that you don't need an over-the-top gimmick like the Hype Bros or the Vaudevillains or Enzo and Cass to be a good tag team. See a lot of people on the internet hating the title change, that it's just a random team. But I don't feel that way. I definitely think the right decision was made putting the titles on Dash and Dawson. You have a story built in with the Vaudevillains getting their rematch. You have another story when Cass returns from injury that him and Enzo are going to get their revenge on Dash and Dawson. Granted, they're not like the most spectacular team in NXT, but they're definitely going to get the job done as heels. And I just like that the tag team division has some storylines going around it. You have other teams on the way up, like Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. Hype Bros are still hanging around a little bit. And then the 3 teams that I mentioned before. So there's definitely a revitalization, I guess, in tag team wrestling in NXT. Blake and Murphy as well. I completely forgot about them. So you have like 3, 4, 5 teams that could definitely compete for the NXT championship or NXT tag team championship in the near future. After that, Dash and Dawson were shown backstage talking about how hard they worked to reach this moment, how much it meant to them, that kind of stuff. So it's good to see that they're genuinely excited about this, reaching that pinnacle in NXT. We then got Jason Jordan, Chad Gable versus the Ascension next week, and Bayley will defend her NXT Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss next week as well. So they're definitely loading up next week's show. I don't know why. We still got a couple weeks before TakeOver London, so I don't know, just I guess to break up that lull period before TakeOver, just to give these episodes a little more meaning. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. And it was finally time to hear from Samoa Joe. He came out. He said that we as a people are defined by 2 things: the choices we make and our actions behind them. He said he made the choice to accept Finn Balor as his tag team partner, and he said he guided him all along the way. And he said Balor made the right choice to give Joe a title shot, but made no action to stand by it as William Regal put him in a battle royal with a bunch of other people. Finn Balor's music hit. He walked straight to the ring. Referees had to separate him. Joe was about to leave. He shoved the referee into Balor and then attacked him. He locked him in the Coquina clutch and knocked Finn Balor out. He then stood over Balor with the NXT title before laying it on him and walking away. Great final segment. I liked it. Short, sweet, to the point. Joe, as a heel, is going to be great on NXT. Finn Balor is going to take no crap from him as well. They kept the action small, and so we got the anticipation of what we want to see from them in London. And I like it. Just get these 2, because you can't have Finn Balor, or you can't have Samoa Joe say all this stuff without Finn Balor trying to retaliate. And there's Joe being the heel that he's going to be and is currently. Take that underhand, throw him the referee at him. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And it definitely makes sense to have Joe as a heel, because we lost Kevin Owens as our top heel. Tyler Breeze, one of the top heels, is no longer on the show. Baron Corbin isn't there yet, so it obviously made sense to have someone turn on Finn Balor, and it was great move to have it be Samoa Joe. And with a couple more weeks before TakeOver, the promos that these 2 are going to cut, especially Joe, and the interactions and vignettes we're going to get between these 2 leading up to TakeOver London, it's going to be a great couple weeks waiting for that match. As for the show itself, it was an average week. Really nothing as far as matches stood out to me. The opening match was more of a feud builder leading towards TakeOver. 6-man tag, pretty much the same thing. There was some good action, but it was more building towards the Women's Championship next week. Nia Jax had a squash match, and the Tag Team Championship match was actually very one-sided. It made sense, obviously, that it was one-sided to put the Tag Team Champions over, but Gotch and Aiden English really didn't put up much of a fight. Aiden English was trying to be the hero, working on that bum knee, but we really didn't see much from Simon Gotch in this match, which I was surprised about. But other than that, next week, Carmella versus Nia Jax, Jason Jordan, Chad Gable versus The Ascension, and Bayley versus Alexa Bliss for the NXT Women's Championship in the main event. So it should be a much better show next week. Other than that, I'll catch you guys same time, same place next week. Peace.